we're going to hang out a little bit with Patrick Frost, one of you guys' favorite guests, today on episode 32 of Real Estate Photography Unlocked.
I'm just trying to get mine, but these agents got me losing my mind. Whatever happened to the good times? Man, forget about it. It's showtime. Let me show you how to get some rest, how to make millions, how to be your best. This is shout out to the REPs, to the shooters, producers, and the newbies. Welcome to our podcast. I'm your rep MC. We're here every week talking real estate photography.
Today, I'm bringing back a very special guest from 2025. This was probably your guys' favorite guest from 2025. I had the most people ask about Patrick Frost than anyone else we've had. And we had a lot of great guests last year. So without further ado, let's check in with Patrick Frost. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Great. Thank you for coming back on. As I said, people were talking about you a lot. They really were encouraged, I think, by seeing your success in real time over a few months of hard work. And I guess everyone's going to be wondering, how are you doing? Are you still alive out there? Do you hate real estate photography yet? Or are you thinking about throwing in the towel? Was it all fake? All of that. So let's hop into it. How are you doing?
Doing good. Trying to stay warm right now. As you know, North Carolina is getting hammered with cold weather. Like the amount of ice lately has been insane.
Yeah, and kind of like our mountains here in North Carolina, it's not like we have large mountains.
Right.
Most of you call it hills. We also don't have that much ice, but it shuts down everything.
Yeah, everything.
It's snowed 2 weekends, and stores are closed. Even Chick-fil-A is closed. Can you believe that? So you know it's bad if that's the case. But that being said, I can say for a fact this January has been pretty dead with photography. So we've been chilling here. But also I got sick 3 times in a single month, strep throat, like COVID-88 or something, and a standard cold.
COVID-88.
And yeah, dude, who knows how many variants there are of that thing now? But
I'm surprised you didn't go with 6-7 with kids nowadays.
I'm not. My kids are too. I am not that cool. I'm not up to date with the local lingo or whatever the kids are saying these days. Generation Alpha, they call them. So, but anyway, let's get into Patrick Frost. How have things been for you? Did the last year go well for you? Are you managing all the demand you've had, or are you, in a lull? Are you experiencing more trouble where you're just thinking about, I'm not making enough money and I should probably quit? Just bring us up to speed. What has happened since the last podcast we had you at?
Yeah, so business was good last year. It wasn't easy, that's for sure. We hit a bit of a lull in the middle of the year, and I think most of North Carolina probably saw that. Any real estate media companies. We had a sudden shift from like a seller's market to a buyer's market. Or vice versa, and it just kind of put a hold on everything. So June, July was not dead, but it was slow. August picked right back up though, like it's like it never happened. August hit, business ramped up, and September was actually my best month out of the entire year. I think in September, and I'm only saying this so that people know. It's not a flex or anything. Like once you take out taxes and expenses and everything else, it's not that much money. And when you have your down months like you do in real estate media, as we'll get into, it really isn't as big of a flex as many people think. But in September, I think I cleared just over 17 or 18 grand. Yeah, September was a great month. October was good. And then we went on my daughter's Make-A-Wish vacation at the beginning of November. We got back from that vacation and business was dead. Like essentially from the middle of November.
Was that before or after? Was that before or after Thanksgiving?
We went to vacation the first week of November. Okay. And I think we got back on the 11th or something like that.
So before Thanksgiving, yeah.
And then I had a few jobs like the next week, but like the last 2 weeks of November and then all of December, I think maybe I shot 3 jobs total. Like,
Yeah, exactly. And just so you guys know, sometimes I'll be all the markets are different, so people in Florida or Texas or California, where you're in these huge markets, may experience lulls, but as long as you're one of the top producing companies in your area, you're still going to have maybe a loss of 10 or 20% of your revenue. But in smaller markets like him, so we're both in North Carolina. He's in Raleigh. I'm in Greensboro. You probably heard of Raleigh. You never heard of Greensboro. But Raleigh's around 2.5 million people, CSA. And then mine's like 1.5. You're almost as large as Charlotte. So you're in a great market.
mhm.
But anyway, here in North Carolina, it's been really tough for the last 2025.
Well,
And then,
there's a few things, and I'm sorry to
yeah,
interject,
no,
but like I've
that's it.
spoken to a lot of builders. I mean, I actually have like an ongoing conversation with builders who routinely check in with me because as a real estate photographer, they know I'm everywhere, right? Like they know
You've
I'm
got,
talking to people.
you've got a real thumb on the pulse. It's better to ask
Exactly. And
you rather than check stock market or something.
yeah, so I'll have builders reach out to me and they're asking like, how's business? What does it look like? Where are you seeing things happening? XYZ. And essentially what I think I've kind of gotten to and what me and builders and other realtors have boiled it down is North Carolina being in the top 3 most moved to states in the country right now. And North Carolina being the highest new build state in the country by a
Mm,
large margin. We actually outbuilt our state um, to our own detriment.
really?
Is essentially what's happening. So right now, North Carolina, I think the last I heard, we were pumping out 56 new build permits. So you have to get a build permit to build a home.
Yeah.
That's managed by the state. North Carolina is doing 56 or 57 new build permits per 1,000 people. The rest of the country is doing 7 to 8.
Okay. Well, that's
So,
probably to do with regulation. Also, but combined with a lot of that as well, you have to talk about all the other variables that have slowed down the market. Of course, rising interest rates, and then even when the Fed did lower the interest rates, it didn't actually lower the mortgage rates for the consumer. So a lot of people were hoping for things that they never got, and it just the shift, of course, in the market, but also just uncertainty politically. And I'm not going to say that I'm pro or against any different um, political side, but it's just that let's just say the country is not united, to say the
mhm.
least, right now. So that makes people hesitant to make big life decisions like moving. So I think a lot of things have slowed down the market here that I think other people can relate with, but I have just found North Carolina to be particularly bad. And you experienced it in Raleigh in the middle of the summer. We experienced it here, and I also saw a lot of the bigger companies that we contract with
Mhm.
change contracts from us, and it was not because we were doing a bad job. It's because they were going to the absolute bottom dollar vendor in the area. A quick story: we had, I'll probably do a video on this, but we had one of the biggest companies that represented about $60,000 to $75,000 of our our yearly revenue
Mm.
switch to another provider, and I was a little bit bitter about it because I'll lose some clients every now and then, but honestly, they've kind of gotten stale. They're a little bit annoying. I'm happy to let a client go when it's time to let them go. These guys, I really wanted to keep them because they essentially paid for my employee,
Right.
and I loved having them. Just as like, okay, that one vendor pays for my employee, and then everything else, is revenue on top. But one of the things we did for this company is we started to offer. Listen, we've said no to this in the past, but we're going to even start installing the lock boxes and the signs for you. And they had us do that. I set up in my basement a whole place, and it was a system. I mean, we had
Mhm.
to store dozens and dozens of posts and signs for different real estate agents at the brokerage. We had to have lock boxes and systems, and it was complex. Well, anyway, when they decided to not use us, even despite us doing that all that for them, The people who came and picked up the equipment were their new vendors.
So
I have, yeah, it's weird. That's corporate. That's dealing with large corporate things. Definite potential there for if I wasn't a decent person, I could totally be like, signs? What sign? Go screw, go screw yourself. I
Yeah.
could totally do that. I'm not that kind of person. But anyway, when the new vendor came up, picked it up, we're talking a guy who, and I'm not trying to be mean here. It was obviously apparent because it's not that English was his second language or something. He was born in the United States, but he couldn't give complete sentences because he had some type of, as best, either a severe learning disability or brain damage. Okay. The minivan that he was driving was his business minivan. It had been wrecked in multiple places, looked like it had been broken into, cracked windows. I helped him pack the stuff. The the radio in the middle, the console was stolen, taken out. The guy literally was like, I was like helping load it, and he was just kind of sitting there like, okay. I'm like, hey man, you can help load your stuff. But I found out that this guy was the guy who'd be installing the signs. Anyway, the point is, there is no way this company that I worked for chose this person because they thought it was a better option.
Right.
There's no chance. They probably got a list of names. They selected the cheapest person, and they went with that guy. And I'm just realizing that a lot of people in my area are real estate agents and their companies trying to spend as little as they possibly can going forward. And that is the market that we're dealing here in North Carolina. And I'm about to make some changes in my business where we kind of attract people with some lower offerings, with the opportunity to sell them some higher stuff. And we're just going to have to do that because it's kind of like when fuel is super expensive during wartime era, and then Ford, for example, got rid of the V8 in their Mustang and in the Fox bodies.
I think that's or are you talking about old Ford or new Ford?
Yeah, old Ford,
Okay, got it.
not recently. And then they brought back the V8 but they were just offering fuel efficient economy options because people didn't have the money to pay for that kind of stuff. Right now, I'm having to change my strategy from what it's been in the last 6 to 7 years, and and get something that's actually a little bit more attractive.
7.
Yeah. We were reconnecting a little bit before, and he was making jokes about 6'7". And I'm like, bro, I don't know what that is, but now I do. So thank you, Patrick. But yeah, for the longest time, it has been like, man, how do I weed out all the bad real estate agents? I'm going to raise my minimum pricing to help just qualify people. Going forward, I'm like, man, I've got to attract some more business. What service am I willing to do for really cheap to attract people and then get the opportunity to sell them higher? So that's what we're looking for in 2026. But anyway,
what I found with like pricing models, what I kind of like just second half of the year, I started getting a lot more video work. And with the proliferation, I'm gonna
proliferation.
Yep, I stuttered twice, so I'm not gonna try again. Of AI lately.
Oh yeah, dude.
And realtors, I shouldn't say realtors. Everybody outside of people who are trying to utilize it and put it into their video at a decent like resolution and quality, because there's a very big difference between 4K AI and 720p AI. They don't realize that there's a large expense to that, even for us to incorporate it, and they're wanting these like super high end probably multi-$1,000 budget videos that you see on Instagram and TikTok, where like half the video is AI and half of it's just crazy transitions and editing. And they want to pay $125 for that. And it's like, no,
That's the story. That's the story of everybody's life, dude. And it's that Instagram FOMO where it's so funny. People in like the real estate videography Facebook group will post and kind of flex on each other about who's done the nicest video. And if you ask them, okay, but how much did you get paid to do this video that you should have charged, $5,000 for? Like, oh, and then they'll just shy away from the question because a lot of these people are doing it for $300 to $400, or in some cases $100 to $200.
Yeah.
And I've already been seeing as well a lot of real estate agents because, there's this idea that real estate agents will spend more money on marketing when the market is slow. It's actually the opposite. They should do that, but that's not what they do. Because they're afraid of not being able to pay their bills or whatever, they actually cut back on marketing and they get very stingy and let's just say it for what it is, cheap on their marketing. So a lot of real estate agents are really testing out photo to video AI stuff, even though it's trash. And even though they don't get response from it on their social media, they're posting it anyway. I have even seen competitor, a real estate agent that uses one of my competitors, drop my competitor, and they're clearly using a Sora AI avatar of themselves, and they don't even pay enough money to get the Sora bouncing the logo off. That's how cheap they are. So not only are they no longer using their videographer, they're using an AI. And they're using the free version of the AI because they're not even paying for the AI. So it's just ridiculous seeing what we're seeing. But that is the reality of the market, at least here in North Carolina. I would love to hear from a lot of you guys what your guys' market really was, because in the Facebook groups, everybody always says, "Oh, it's my best year ever. Oh, record month." When the reality is, it's guys. Let's be honest. It ain't COVID anymore. It's not COVID anymore.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody's being honest with themselves and they don't think that there's lulls in the market, like you said, unless you're in a area where they don't get winter, so Florida, Texas, like
California.
maybe California,
right?
And they may get fall, but they're still it's still pretty outside and not bitter cold. Then maybe they may not have lulls, but otherwise, North Carolina definitely has its lulls. But as far as like the video goes, I think this year, it's stuff that I've been working on as we've had this downtime. I'm probably going to flesh out my video offerings to be more package oriented, like photography, as opposed to just a blanket add-on video option. Simply because there's just too much. You can do a quick like zoom through walkthrough type video, right? And that takes 30 minutes to shoot and edit. Or you can just do like a slow cinematic, and that's a little bit more time. And then they want like high transitions and then AI. All that has significantly different workflow and time commitment. So I think video is a big driver right now for business, especially new business. I'm going to really flesh out the video side of things. I invested in a Laowa lens.
Oh, is that a 10 millimeter or 12 millimeter?
I went with the 12. I felt like 10 was a little too much, especially for vertical. Like 10 on vertical, the 70% of the composition is ceiling and floor. Right.
And what I actually believe on this is so for a while there was a little bit of a civil war, like the verticals versus the horizontals, or the portrait orientation versus the landscape orientation, if you want to get technical. But a lot of people were insisting, like, ride or die, I will never go vertical. I'm kind of one of those guys. I've been holding it off for as long as I possibly can. We do vertical stuff now. But the funny thing about this is the reason why I'm doing vertical is because it's actually landscape. You guys have taken the wide angle lens so far that even in vertical, you're getting a 16 millimeter equivalent. Like, so if you're getting 10 millimeters of a vertical shot,
Yeah.
the stuff that's all of it is ceiling and all of it is floor, and then in the
Yep.
middle, you get what is your 16 millimeter
Yep.
landscape shot. So really, it's we've made full circle here. But
But it is. I don't know if you have one for your Canons. Do they make them for Canon?
yeah, of course, dude.
Oh, okay.
Everything gets
Canon's
made
like the
for Canon.
hardest. Canon doesn't give out like permission to create lenses for them like Sony and Nikon does. Like Sony and Nikon doesn't care. They let anybody make lenses for their cameras. I feel like Canon's a little bit more restrictive. Like, nope, we're not going to let you build lenses for
Yeah,
us.
that's because Canon doesn't have to. They
Yeah.
all they have the largest customer base, so everybody wants to comply with Canon. So they don't really have to do much, and then
Yeah.
everybody wants to compete with Canon. So Sony and Nikon and anybody else who tries to get in the game kind of makes it as easy as possible to work with them. But even when they try to do that, they're still not as compatible, just because all of the other companies are catering to Canon,
Yeah.
because that's where the money is. Let me ask you something. I think this is going to be a really good topic. And sorry, guys, if this is more of a friendly conversation. Patrick and I are friends at this point. So um, I think one of the big things coming in 2026, I mean, it was here in 2024 and 2025, but in 2026, if you are not doing these trendy videos where you have AI edits and everything else going into it, you're really not relevant, and you're going to be running a business off of the scraps in your market. That's just a fact. If you want to be considered seriously, you're going to have that as an offering. Just like it's as essential as having drone as an offering at this point. Here's the problem. You and I don't have $14 million properties to make things look good. We also don't have real estate agents with $14 million property budgets. We also don't have real estate agents who look like models, who have any sort of talent on camera at all. And they're also not willing to listen and take direction necessarily. So, and they're wanting to look like a supermodel when they don't. They want their 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath split level to look like a $14 million property. And they want to write the script, and they write you, a novel, and they want you to fit into 30 seconds, and this is all the stuff that I'm used to dealing with. But these are the challenges of really and actually doing and offering this type of service. So, what are you doing around all of this, and what's your plan, or are you currently doing it? I'd just love to hear all about that.
Yeah. So like with the scripts and stuff, I always ask if they have an idea of what they're wanting to say on camera, or if they have like a property description or whatnot,
Mhm.
and they'll send it to me, and I won't say anything else until I see it, because I don't want to cause a barrier to entry or anything like that. If I think I can make it work from a video perspective, like they're talking but they're not on camera, so it's not affecting the total length of the clip and the music's just kind of muffled in the background, then I'll let them run with it. But you have to kind of like cut them off at the knees sometimes, because
Yeah, yeah,
they will literally have like 5 minutes worth of talking, and you have to be like that, or you have like 12 seconds, you better talk real fast.
right. And that's exactly what I run into. And you say you ask them for a script and they send it to you. I don't even get that far.
Mm,
At least, so I've put in policies where it just kind of manages the real estate agent and essentially takes them out of the equation as much as possible.
yeah.
But it used to be when I would say, hey, give me 2 or 3 one-liners
Mm,
that you want in the video. Otherwise, and send them to me before the shoot so I can prepare and make sure I think of a video that matches what you're saying.
yeah.
And they would never get it to me because they're so indecisive and I don't know, just kind of paralyzed by perfectionism. Uh, I know, I know, as photographers, excuse me, I'm still sick. Um, can deal with that ourselves, but they're so obsessed with their self image and everything else, they would procrastinate and then end up trying to wing it once we got to the shoot, and it would just always be a disaster. And that was me doing that 5 or 6 years ago. At
I
this
had
point,
to, and maybe you have to do this when it is when you're doing uh, agent on camera. Um, if they don't give you the script or if they don't practice or anything else, I ran into that the first time I did an agent on camera job, and I didn't like prepare them or give them any idea about time commitment or whatnot. And I had jobs after that shoot, right? So you get there and they screw up their lines 7, 8, 9, 10 times, and you just keep deleting and retaking. Before you know it, you're
yeah,
out of time. So now,
right.
like, if an agent says that they want to be on camera and they're going to do like an agent intro video, I put that on a day where nothing comes afterwards. Like, just because there's 2 agents I work with that have seemed to have perfected the on camera art. Like, they practice their lines, they show up, they nail it the first try, and we're done. Like, it's like they're
Yes.
not even there.
And you guys,
Um,
you shouldn't settle for anything less. That is the expectation.
yep.
And frankly, if you're not training your real estate agents to be able to do that, then that's your fault.
Yeah.
And that's actually what I want to get to here is, guys, if you're struggling with real estate and doing videos and managing your talent, it's because you're not managing your talent at all. One thing I've had to do is, frankly, I gave up a long time ago trying to wait for the real estate agent to give me any type of script. All I do is, if I see that they booked it, first of all, I do onboarding with all my clients now, and we go over this so they understand it and they appreciate it, guys. They do, because they're like, oh, good. I'm so glad, because videography and doing these videos is a nightmare for me. Everybody, honestly, most agents are terrified of doing this kind of stuff, and they're terrified of the whole process. And if you don't make this process super smooth and easy, then they'll stop either purchasing them or they'll go to another videographer until they find someone who essentially does it all for them. But I essentially, once I see someone, I don't send them a message. I give them a call and I say, hey, I saw that we're going to do a video on camera. Let's go ahead and punch out the script right now. Tell me a little bit about the property. And then I get a few one-liners. Then I send it to them in a text so that they have it and they can look over it and be ready with it. And then usually they come on prepared. I always tell them I have a call time. Listen, I'm coming there at 10 a.m. We're going to be doing photos and videos. I want you to arrive there at 11 so that I can be at the property and I can kind of plan my shots and get the photography and videography out of the way. By the time you come, I'm already very familiar with the property, and I've got some good shots in mind where we're going to say your lines. All we have to do, mic you up, you spit your lines, you leave.
Mhm.
That is it. And if you guys can get it to that point, then it is amazing. It's not difficult, and the real estate agent will love you for it because you've made a very difficult, scary thing super easy.
Well, yeah, and like honestly, it puts more money in your pocket in the sense that it's not taking time out of your pocket
Mhm.
by mastering this process, or getting this workflow dialed in. Because if you're spending 4 extra hours on site to get this video done because the agent can't figure it out, that's 4 hours you didn't work on your business or another job or whatever, right? So it's
Yeah.
like the less time you spend on site, the more money you're making potentially.
Yeah, and I hear people, or I see in the Facebook groups, "Oh, that doesn't take any time." It
Yes, it
takes
does.
time. Yes, it does, especially when let's talk about video editing for those of you guys that are video editing out there. If you guys aren't using hotkeys, and when you're even culling footage and you're clicking and you're cutting and then you're moving the
Mhm.
clip back over, I don't know, if you don't have um, ripple editing hotkeyed, so where you can just press one button and it cuts it and then deletes the empty space automatically, you know how much time that saves you. So these little 5 seconds here, little 10 seconds here, and then you're doing 100 or 200 of those 5 or 10 second tasks every single day. That's months or years off of your life over your career. So you really have to get those under control. And we're talking about things at scale here because this is a volume business.
It is.
Um, so you've got to think about things at scale. If you go and shoot, you're thinking you're shooting a 1 or 2 hour, uh, and it takes you half a day, especially if
Mhm.
you've left the creative decisions in the hands of the real estate agent. And they're like, okay, yeah, just give me your video idea once we arrive. And they're like, okay, we're going to go to 6 different locations.
Like, yeah, no.
That's your fault. That's your
Yeah.
fault for leaving creative decisions in there. Anyway, so man, I have a lot of feelings about this. And then we have people who are creating these videos in the real estate videography Facebook groups, and it's just like, oh yeah, charge $300, $400 for this, and you've actually spent half a day or a full day on this, and sometimes it's 5 or 6 hours edits, and they'll say that they spent 5 or 6 hours, which probably means it spent longer than that. So anyway, guys, sorry. These are just really important things you need to learn and got to understand in 2026. And if you're one of these people, we got to change that, because frankly, if we took these same skills and took it to any business outside real estate, car dealership, you'd be getting paid $2,000 or $3,000 for these videos.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I just had a point on that. You said something and it clicked. What was it?
see, I talked.
That's actually like, and us as like a collective whole, the real estate media professionals, at least in North Carolina, and whether you're in the triad or the triangle. But us as a whole, I feel like we need to push the ceiling up, because we have all these bad actors pushing the floor way, way down. Like, it's disgusting. There's a person who will serve both Greensboro area and Raleigh area, and I know this because I lost a client to them. And they're on Facebook and their ads are everywhere. $65, no limit to square footage or number of photos.
Wow, I don't know this guy yet.
And they'll
And I do
travel. We'll go to Fayette. We'll go to Charlotte. We'll go to Greensboro. $65. Doesn't matter the size of the home. For photos.
They will burn themselves out, because that's really not sustainable.
It's not. It's crazy.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, when you hear prices like that, you know they aren't paying their taxes. Eventually, the IRS is going to catch on to them, and they're going to be paying serious damages and back taxes, and they're going to just be out of luck. And you cannot, by the way, declare bankruptcy for that kind of thing. I know this, folks, because I have taken mentorship calls with people in these situations, and I'll just tell you guys: do not think you'll outsmart the IRS. Okay, they know. They turn a blind eye to things in like Minnesota.
I knew you were going to go there. I knew you were going to go there.
But us, with our legitimate businesses and services, no. They're going to check your mileages and they're going to come after you. And that's the truth. I know, because heck, when I was first starting out, I tested, hey, what if I, forget to do my taxes this year, or just test to see how long. It was like 30 or 60 days before they sent me a letter like, hey, we think you owe us this much. And I paid, but I was like, wow, they're good. But anyway, that's the situation we're in. I would love to talk to you more about the reality of the market.
But I mean, what I was getting to with the video is with the people, how they're driving prices down, and everybody's wanting AI in their videos nowadays. And like, I don't know about Greensboro specifically or the triad, but the average value or the average cost of a video around here, I would say it's between 150 and 250 bucks, like for up to 2 minutes. Like that's all people are charging. And it doesn't matter what goes into the edit. That's just the flat fee that most people are paying. And there's no money in a AI driven or edited video at $200, $250, really. There's not. We're making nothing. We're just spending time and making nothing. So my goal is to kind of spread apart the video offering and have very low cost video with essentially no editing time. And I'm going to shoot an SDR and not color grade it at all. Straight out of camera is what you're getting. It's still serving the purpose, but it's not this high visual thing. And that'll be entry level cost for people that want to have video but not pay video prices. And then AI stuff, I feel like I'm going to offer it and I'm going to make it a premium video offering. And like, it's going to start at like $500 minimum and go up from there. And that might cause me to lose some business initially, but I'm hoping it drives the ceiling up to separate the video offerings. Hopefully other people around here that compete with me will follow suit, because everybody wants to make money.
That's interesting. There's like, some people talk about a perfect storm where you have like two hurricanes running into each other.
Mhm.
Right now in the real estate photography industry, I feel like we have 3 or 4 perfect hurricanes just running all into each other. We've got the real estate market itself has slowed down, because of politics and interest rates and everything else. We have AI being released into the industry. So we have a lot of real estate agents doing things on their own. A lot of things that we used to do for real estate agents, they're doing for themselves, like, let's say, virtually staging a room.
Mhm.
We have corporations on deck and actually successfully encroaching into our industry by offering AI, but also getting photographers to work with them, like Zillow. We have also an enormous amount of industry saturation. And guys, if you have someone you're mentoring with and they're lying to you about saying the industry is not saturated, it's because it would disincentivize you to buy from them.
Mhm.
Okay. So they would tell you a lie in order to get you sold, because they're not interested in mentoring you. They're interested in closing you. Okay. So you really need to be paying attention to these types of people. Anyway, we have all of this as a reality in our market right now. And the industry is I would say, harder than it's ever been to be successful. And that being said, that doesn't mean you should quit, because we have sitting right here Patrick, who just got started, year and a half ago
Mhm.
ish, and you've been wildly successful. That's just a testament, though, that you have to be smart, hardworking, intelligent. I said smart and intelligent because I'm not, but also savvy, and you really have to be pushing hard. So, if you could say you're on the same level as Patrick, then I would say you have a good shot at this industry. But if you're someone who's wanting to make a quick buck, save yourself some time, save yourself some energy, and find something else, because this is no longer the real estate, the industry that everybody has made out to be the secret hidden gem. In fact, I would say that real estate photography is more saturated and is going to be the most saturated market for at least 3 to 5 years than any other photography
Oh yeah.
niche, like weddings, portraits, all of that. I think the hype has kind of passed for weddings and that sort of thing. People understand, like, ooh, I'm not sure if I want to have the responsibility of someone's wedding day,
Yeah.
because if I screw that up, that's big. But real estate, nah, I'll do that.
Interestingly enough, I don't know if you recall in some of our previous conversations, I said I would never do wedding anything.
Uh-huh.
I still will never do like a full main shooter wedding gig.
Yeah.
But a buddy of mine is getting married and they want me to do the video of a wedding. So I'll be doing video for wedding here soon, and it's terrifying.
Hey, I did a wedding, I think, was it 2024 or 2025? And I did the video for it. And honestly, it's because it's a beautiful property, and the real estate agent, it was one of the real estate agent's kids, right?
Oh, okay.
So she essentially came to my house and threatened violence if I didn't do it. So I did it. But yes, it was a beautiful wedding. I really enjoyed doing it. But honestly, guys, seriously, if you're here because you think it's cheap and easy money, think again. It is no longer that. No longer.
You better be willing to be available 24/7 to getting started.
Yeah.
Like, because realtors need photos when they need photos, and if you don't have a time slot that day, chances are they'll go with somebody else. Especially if they're a top producing realtor.
Yeah.
And so, like, people wanting to get into the real estate media industry while still having a job or as a side hustle or something like that, it's almost impossible. You almost have to have money saved up and willing to have no income for a while you get your onesie twosie jobs in random spots throughout the week.
Yeah.
Until you're busy enough that it's an income, because you're at the mercy of realtors.
And I've seen a lot of savvy people do different things to be a success. Some people will do, um, shoot, what are some of those ride sharing apps? I never use them.
Yeah, me
Um,
neither. You're talking about like Uber and
yeah. So a lot of people will do Uber or Uber Eats or other things where they can kind of dictate when they're working. And essentially, if they're not doing that, they'll try to pick up some
yeah.
more photography industry. But honestly, with the way things are going, I do think larger corporations, they've tried in the past to kind of encroach on our market. With AI, they might have the missing piece they need so that you have essentially people who are Uber drivers saying, "Oh, I guess real estate photography is the new Uber," and they're just going to bid for a job for the lowest pricing thing. They'll show up, take a few photos with their cell phone,
Big thing is
and
like
take it. Yeah.
floor plans and 3D tours are getting much harder to upsell nowadays or sell at all, because homes.com, zillow.com, a lot of firms, like a lot of brokerages, they offer free floor plans and 3D tours
Yep.
for like nothing. Like, oh, you spend $100 with them a month to show up X number of times through their advertising, and as a result, any listing you get, they'll send somebody to do a floor plan and a 3D tour for you for free.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the reality of the situation. And a lot of the photographers are not doing what they need to just not make it so easy for these companies. For example, with Zillow and other things, you upload your photos and then they offer virtual staging to the real estate agent for $1 or something. And people are like, "Oh, well, I don't want to deal with all that." Okay, but if you look at the price chart for your annual revenue at your business, let's take a price chart from an average real estate photography company in 2022 or 2023. For me, it was probably 60% photography, maybe another, nah, I mean, 60% photography and videography, but a large, like 30 to 40% was virtual staging, twilight conversions, uh, photo editing and manipulation, 3D. It was a significant portion of our revenue. And people were like, "Oh, that's
Mhm.
fine. We'll just, I don't want to be a pain for the real estate agent and lose a client. So I'll just let them do the virtual staging." Well, now you think, okay, giving up the virtual staging is not that big of a deal. Now it's 3D, now it's virtual staging, and now with AI doing photo to video, they're even breaking into that 60% of your pie. So you're making less than half of what we were making in 2023, purely because real estate photographers aren't willing to force some of these companies to come to the table for their intellectual property. And we're going to have the next episode talk about intellectual property with David Deal. So make sure
It's
to,
like Colab AI. You've probably seen their ads on Facebook.
there's so many. Even Cubic
Yeah.
is coming out with a photo editing software. They've already been
Yep.
talking with me about that. But in 2026, guys, there's going to be so many companies that are offering every single thing you can possibly imagine with AI.
Yeah.
And the price for all of these companies right now, Fotello and other companies are kind of trying to fight for the top spot. The bottom is going to drop out of the market, and these companies are going to be worthless, I would say, in 2 or 3 years. There's only going to be a few of them. Even the possibility of models being released where we can just run it on our own machines right here, which I think
Right.
would be ideal. But that is coming. That is
Yeah.
absolutely coming. Um,
Something that we could do as an industry, real estate media professionals, is protecting our IP. And as you know, my wife, she's a real estate agent, and she tries to educate other real estate agents on this. And the retort is always, well, if the real estate agent or the real estate photographer has that viewpoint, then we'll just use somebody else. But what it is our photos are our property. They only have the license to use them, which we all say, but we never stick to, while they are the agent listing that home. As soon as the home sells, those photos are no longer usable by anybody ever again, period, is how it
right.
should be handled.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing too. A lot of people will say, "Well, Well, Patrick, well, Jonathan, go ahead and see how that works out with you. Because if I try to do that with my agents, they'll just use someone else. Let's talk about
Exactly.
this. Let's talk about this. Okay. Um, Literally everyone in the entire planet is charging people for their intellectual property except for real estate photographers. Okay. Fotello, great software. In order to use their model, you have to pay them a handsome fee to
Mhm.
have them edit your photos. Um, Real estate agents, okay, they work on commission. Okay, now what do they? How do they justify charging a commission? Because they add value to the transaction through their skill set. Okay, their negotiation. All right. Now you may think, well, that's not intellectual property, but they're putting an inherent value on their skill set. It's number one reason why they get paid a certain amount for $100,000 home and a certain amount for doing the exact same thing for $1 million home. In fact, the $1 million home is probably an easier deal because both of the people have good credit involved. All right. If you're trying to close a deal with a bunch of people with bad credit and shady proof of income, it's a lot more work. All right. And then a lot of real estate photographers will fold because
Under any type of pressure, any
under any
type
type
of
of pressure.
pushback.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah,
will
they're
fold like
just
a
like, we
chair.
don't want to lose the client, so no
Right.
pushback.
Meanwhile, everybody else is doing it. And even some people out there who are saying, "Hey, teach me how to do real estate photography," um, and they're telling you to go out and work for free. And how much
Mhm.
are they charging you? $12,000.
Yeah.
So even they care about their intellectual property, but everybody is telling you guys not to stick up for yourselves. Guys, I'm telling you, the federal law is so strong around intellectual property. If you just say, yeah, sure, I'll be happy to share my photos, it'll just be, $20 fee, $30 fee. Zillow will probably pay that. You guys just haven't pushed the issue. So if we're going to usually make $20 per image for virtually staging our image photos, then when they try to put that in our contract, you just say no, and then they come back with a different contract that says, okay, we'll give you a little bit more.
Right.
That's all. That's all. But the problem is photographers just roll over. You guys
Yeah.
roll over. And you're also led horribly by people in the industry who want you to roll over because they want to take
Did
advantage of you.
it. Right. Yeah. Either they
um,
want to take advantage of you or they did it. And
yeah.
so,
Because
like,
guess
if they
what?
lost money having to do it, they want you to do the same thing.
Yeah, but the number one thing with a lot of these people who want to sell you courses is they want to make sure you guys not necessarily get results, but you feel like you're getting results. So how
Mhm.
can they get you the dopamine rush as soon as possible? Free shoots. Look, it feels like you're succeeding, even though you're not. Anyway, I just have to talk about some of those things, guys, because you guys are getting taken advantage of right and left, and you guys aren't looking out for yourselves. And the industry is absolutely suffering at this point for it. So anyway, we've been
Well, it's like
talking.
what I was mentioning about the Colab AI, and I sorry to interject again,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like on their Facebook post, they're like, quit paying overpriced fees to virtually stage photos from your real estate photographers. Colab AI will do it for, $2 or whatever. I every time that ad comes up, I always post on it like you do know the photographer owns the intellectual rights to the photograph and you may not alter them in any way.
But also, you do know that photographers are
Like,
probably your main customer base.
mhm.
And if you're going to advertise to real estate agents trying to cut us out of the deal,
Yep.
maybe go screw yourself. How
Yep.
about we at least take that much? But here's the sad thing about real estate photographers. We're so weak and we'll even work for the companies that are actively trying to replace us, like Zillow. So why are you guys using order forms and scheduling software like Aereo? It's so interesting. Somebody posted in the Facebook group that Zillow has a job offering right now where they're trying to hire someone to develop systems where any single person can create all media content for listings. That is the job description for the position. All right. So there's no question, guys. You guys are trying to be. The sad part is they really underestimate how complex and skilled what we do is. I'm sorry if we're going to compare what is involved in a real estate listing transaction. We've got the closing attorney, the real estate agent, the appraiser, and we have the real estate photographer. Out of all of these, who would you say has the most technically difficult and complex job?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I mean you or me.
I can't answer this because my wife is sitting across the way from me and she's a real estate agent. So
I would say that we're the hardest to replace technically. I will say that real estate agents have the most difficult people skills job.
the real estate agents are underappreciated for what they do. Like everybody thinks that they make easy money, and one, they don't make as much money as people think they do. Like you don't see how much they have to pay to earn their 3% commission on a transaction.
Right.
So that they don't make nearly as much as the rest of the world thinks. They're not just rolling in money. Like, yeah. But two, they work 24/7, or at least the good ones do. Like they're working constantly.
Yeah.
We were in vacation in St. Thomas, and my wife worked every single day to some degree, which isn't a problem. Like you still have to make money even on vacation. But anyways, I digress. Go ahead, Jonathan.
No. Feel free. You're right, and I'm certainly biased. I'm an advocate for my fellow photographer. There's no question there. But I'm sorry when people come to us and they're like, "Hey, can you do this $3,000 worth of work for $300? And also let me take you for granted the entire way." And I've been doing this for 13 or 14 years. I'm a bit salty, but all right. We've been talking a lot about the reality of the industry purely because I feel like people need to be open and honest about it. Because I see a lot of people in the industry just lying to themselves and to others about it. That's the state of the industry going into 2026. What are you doing this year to kind of counteract that? Try to
The
get
video thing is a big thing that I'm doing. Not so much the real estate industry, but videography as a whole, I'm trying to expand upon. I'm trying. Real estate media will always be my main source of income, like as far as photography and videography goes. But you have to be blind to not recognize that if you could shift a large portion of that into promotional video, there's a ton more meat on the bone to make money. That was I was trying to give you a saying and then just a normal sentence, and they blended together and sounded stupid.
Yeah, that's fine.
But anyways, yeah. So I'm trying to push into the video market a lot more. I actually just did a promotional video for a trash can cleaning service, and I just got contacted earlier this week by a commercial real estate brokerage who had gotten my name from a couple of realtors that I work with that do residential, but they were friends with this guy. And so we've been talking. I sent them samples of my work, and they've booked me for 3 commercial jobs already. We're in discussions of the cost when we're going to do it, what we're going to do, but they're already like set. Like, yeah, you're our guy. We'll start with 3 projects. If everything turns out great, you're going to be our permanent commercial guy. And if anybody knows the commercial market, there's a lot more money in it. It functions differently than residential real estate.
Yeah.
But yeah, so videography is a big thing. And then I am trying to essentially optimize all of my workflows and get rid of the things that you look at as small expenses, but then add up over time. I outsource. I shouldn't say outsource. That's a bad word. It's a bad word in to anybody other than real estate professionals.
You delegate.
Yeah, I delegate. Like there's just things that we delegate because we think we're too busy, or we think like that's tedious and we don't want to do it. Sky swaps, which I am a stickler on sky swaps. I still do my own because nobody seems to do them well other than AI. But like virtual staging,
a lot of AI doesn't do it well either, man.
Yes.
In fact, I've seen a definite decline in quality on the MLS, especially with the Twilight conversions. Man, they look baked and toasted and then fried. like baked, toasted, and then fried, and then
It's like
published.
they took a
below.
contrast slider and cranked it all the
Dude,
ways
no,
up, and they
no.
took like the black slider and went
Oh
all
my
the ways
God.
down.
So I mean, it is horrific. It is horrific, the stuff I'm seeing. I cannot
Mhm.
possibly imagine a real estate agent receiving those things. And you know what? That may be it. That may be it. The reason why we're seeing these things is because the real estate agent probably got the regular photos
And had
then
AI do it.
yeah, and then ran it through an AI thing, and the real estate agent thought like, yeah, that's it, that's the one, and and then they posted it, and then other real estate agents are seeing that photo like, oh my gosh, Becky, who's your photographer? Oh, it's Jonathan Corbett. Jonathan Corbett, he does wonderful work. He did that Twilight. Oh my gosh, never use Jonathan Corbett. And that's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happens, man. They
Yeah.
think they associate you with the bad work. I'm telling you, that is what happens. So you think that there's nothing that the bad that comes of it. I've been in boardrooms, guys, where they insist on having. Well, let's can we look at the raw footage? And I'm like, hey guys, you don't want to look at the raw footage for several reasons. One of all, like if I do a higher end work, I'll shoot in log, or I'll shoot in raw, and the audio is recorded on a separate piece, and also they'll want it in the most trendy like slow mo. It's shot in 60 frames per second, and it doesn't look good in 24 frames per second, right?
Mhm.
But I'll be sitting there with the decision makers who don't know how to unzip an email or a compressed folder, and they'll ask, "Hey, let's just look at the footage." I'm like, "All right, so here's what the footage we got," and you can see on their faces, they're like, "We hired the wrong guy," and you're like, "Listen, you have to understand," and then you start talking about what 60 frames, or essentially, we're going to have to process this, and then you get an email after the meeting a day or two later, "Hey, we've decided to go in another direction," before they even see your final. I can
Mhm.
share 1,000 stories of things that have happened like that. A real estate agent, we were doing a magazine photo shoot, and it was with some horses. Now, there's some very specific industry standards when you're shooting horses. One of them is the ears have to be facing forward. There are several photos we had the ears facing forward, but there was one photo that we took where they really liked the expression of the person, where one of the ears was back. And I said, "Hey, this is the photo you guys liked. I'm going to turn the ear forward using one of the other images, so don't worry about it. But I don't want to send you the final version until it's edited." And they're like, "No, no, 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 send it over." So I broke my rule. I sent over the unedited photo, and they sent me one of those emails a day later. "Hey, yeah, the owner of the horse is actually super unhappy with the images, and we're going to end up going the other direction." I had been the go-to photographer for that magazine for almost 2 years. After that, they stopped using me completely. Okay, so these are just lessons. You have to understand the end customer is a complete idiot, and there's all sorts of reasons you want to protect your intellectual property, but also don't share the raws, um, uh, for multiple reasons. Anyway, guys, I know that I've been preaching a lot to you guys. It's been like 3 months since I've been on a podcast. Forgive me. But anyway, also Patrick.
He had a lot of rust to work off.
Yeah. Forgive me. Some of you guys are like, "Jonathan, you talk so much." Yeah. Well, it's my podcast. Deal with it. If you don't like it, go watch it.
You don't have to watch.
Right. But anyway, I'm happy to keep on talking with you, man. Is there anything else like that you're really thinking about that you need, that you feel like get on your soapbox for a little bit? What does Patrick Frost feel strongly about coming into 2026?
I cannot express my disdain for bad software enough lately.
I don't use
If
that
anybody
software.
who knows me by like name and has seen my name in some of the real estate groups on Facebook, you will know that my displeasure with Spyro lately has lost me clients. as business owners and trying to start businesses, when we have to get in bed with other businesses to provide the services that we do, and those other services cost you clients, that's the worst feeling.
It's a
Like knowing
shame.
that there is nothing you could do about it because you choose to use this software and they're screwing you.
It's a shame there's not a better option for you out there, man.
Wink.
I'm always here. I'm always
I
here.
get it. Hey, have you? This is the question I've
Yes.
asked, because it's
You want the color coded stuff. You want the color coded order form. So
yeah, color branding consistency, even to realtors, is huge.
Okay, all right. So here's what we're releasing. We're doing a huge update on our marketing kit. Where, by the way, we offer free marketing kits. You don't have to pay extra for them. But please, guys, don't take a free marketing kit and then give it away for free. That's one of those
Right.
stupid photographer things that photographers do. No, like, I'm giving you extra margin to work with. Don't give it away, man. But we're adding a lot of templates where you can share it on your social media, and it generates, some trendy, modern, good-looking, and current reels, slideshows, banners, that sort of thing. Then we're going to be updating the order form. The update for the marketing kits will be around March 7th, and then we'll hop in on the color coded order form. But and it'll be just the order form. I think we're going to keep with the navy blue on the user side because it would.
User side doesn't matter. I can.
Yeah.
I mean, Spyro's pink, and those are not my color. So
yeah, I get it. All right. Well, we would love to have you, man. And frankly, we have a lot of happy users. So anyway, but besides that, you really hate dealing with bad software. I switched from Adobe this last winter, and I was using that. I'm using DaVinci.
Okay.
And
I know you had posted about potentially switching to Final Cut Pro for your video work. Moving towards like the more business promotional type video work, I'm starting to see some of the shortcomings of FCP, but FCP has such an easy workflow as far as video editing goes. It's hard to want to move away from Final Cut Pro. However, the most recent update, Final Cut Pro 12, although it has really cool features, automatic beat detection to music. So like your magnetic time.
That's been in DaVinci since 2009, bro.
Really?
No. It's been a while, but yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say I was paying for that service with other software to make cutting video to the beat easier, because who wants to sit there and like zoom in on the music and find all your markers? Like
that's the story of my life with Adobe Premiere.
That's the worst thing about video is cutting it to music. Like,
yeah,
it's super necessary, but it is the most time-consuming, tedious part. Oh,
hey, Patrick, I love the video. Could you change the music? Was that an issue? Also, I'd like to use.
Quit speaking.
Also, I'd like to use this licensed music that's going to get flagged on my Instagram and ruin all of my reach. And then when that happens, I want to blame you for it. Can you do that for me? Has it ever happened to you? It's happened to me.
I have been asked to use licensed music, and I tell them right away, like, nope, I'm not doing it. As much as I want to, because licensed music, I feel like modern,
better response.
It's easy, you hear it. So like, if you were to use a song that you hear all the time, you could cut a video to that song, cake.
Yeah,
like no problem whatsoever. But we're using all this like non-licensed
and the reason
music.
Yeah, and the reason everybody wants to do that now is because people out there who don't listen to any of the rules are teaching people to use unlicensed music, and these people may or may not, allegedly beat their wives and also steal music and so forth.
Oh, I love all the videos, and I'm going to say Florida because it's coastline, it's sunny,
it doesn't.
There's water. And there's skyscrapers everywhere, so I'm like, Florida. It's nowhere else other than Florida. I love all the videos on Instagram that were shot on like penthouses on the 57th floor of some
Yeah.
skyscraper in Florida, and the drone is easily like 600 feet above the skyscraper too. You know they're flying at like 1,000 feet, 1,500 feet, and it's just like, yeah, that's not legal.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, but also I'm remaining nameless there because let's be honest, there's plenty of domestic violence in Florida, and it doesn't narrow it down at all. So,
That was a sucker punch.
oh my gosh, no! As you guys know, I have a vacation rental, and every time, every time I get a guest from Florida because I can see where they're coming from, it is an absolute psycho. I'm talking. They leave narcotics behind. They're not out on time. I had one person who left me angry notes about their hamster dying at my vacation rental, um, and it's a no pet vacation rental. But they left me an angry note about their vacation. I don't mean to laugh. I love animals, but and I don't even know if it's true. I think it was just a psychotic or crazy drunk, drug induced stupor that this person wrote it in. But she claimed that her hamster ran off the second floor and fell to its death. And she wrote me how she also hid the body somewhere in the house and was like, ha ha ha. And she wrote it in two languages, English and Spanish. And my cleaner sent it to me. So that is your average Florida guest. I'm telling you, it doesn't get much better than that. That being said, we never found
The Florida man meme, I guess,
no,
is
no,
just
no, no. Florida man. Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Mhm.
So, and these are also most of the people. It's so interesting. Of the people selling courses are out of Florida, and they're all
it's like the
ones-
mecca for wanting to be at the top of the real estate like circle jerk for media and stuff.
they're the ones with the $14 million, $20 million saying, "Oh, guys, you should charge $3,000 for a video. How come you can't?"
I saw there was an anonymous post on Facebook recently. A person was looking for an editor and was like,
Yeah.
I can't pay more than, I think they said like $50 or $70 or something like that. And it's like, I get it because my market's the same price for videos. Like, I'm not going to pay more than if I'm going to outsource a video and I want it decent, like
Mhm.
decent, I'm still not going to pay more than $100. And even that's high because one, I can usually do better myself. It's not having the time to do it, which is why I'll end up, paying somebody to edit a video for me. But if I paid a more than $100 or even $100 to have a video edited, I shot the video for no reason.
Yeah.
Like there's no. So when that person got so many negative comments, they're like, "Yeah, you can't, it did whatever." But
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like, no, sorry, we're not all in Florida with Florida man money. It's
so funny. It's so funny how real estate photographers will advocate so hard for paying other people, and then when it comes for us to get paid, we're like, no, we're doing it for free. We don't charge for that. It's like it's so funny that real estate photographers has a double standard on themselves. Like, so we got a lot of work to do in the industry, man. That's why I think honestly, a lot of these predatory people have looked at the real estate photography and be like, that's the industry I can take advantage of. That's the one. These guys are idiots.
I've
And
never seen and I've worked in a lot of industries, right? Like I've been in database management, I've been in marketing, I've been in software development, I've worked in law firms, I've worked in HVAC and plumbing, I've done wholesaling, delivery. Like I've worked in so many industries. I've never been in an industry, a niche industry, nonetheless, that has so many different tech industries outside of it building for it. Like people are recognizing how much money is in there's always been money in the real estate sector. People are realizing how much money there is in the real estate sector services side. And so, yeah, like you said, it's being infiltrated from all corners, corporate, underdogs, broken down minivans that are, yeah.
Dude, I don't mean to sound cruel, but I actually took photos. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do a video. I'm going to be doing a lot of more content, but I'm going to be doing a video on why I didn't make as much money as I usually do in 2025. And I'm going to post pictures. I'll keep it, anonymous. There won't be anyone's identity. But I'm telling you guys, I'm not lying. In fact, I'm going to make sure I upload the photos to this podcast as well. But I telling you, I'm not lying when I say the radio was missing. The place was wrecked in multiple. It was just run down. You can tell that they might have even been living out of the car.
That's crazy. Did you know that I got in a car accident this year?
I don't know. You've been in a lot of them. I know your Cadillac.
A lot of them. Right? Yes, that is right.
And you had to lay down your motorcycle.
Yep.
And your son got his toe run over by a forklift.
Yep. Yeah. There's been a lot of automotive or motorized incidents this year, but as much as we drive, and you told me about this, you're like, as much as you drive, you need to have, insurance and XYZ. And it's just, so I got my Cadillac CTS that you know about for work. Mm-hmm. And I think it was within 3 months of owning it, a lady ran a red light and T-boned me. And they should have totaled the car. I literally just got it back. It took 3.5 months for them to repair it and get it back to me. They spent more money repairing the car than I paid for it.
Well, that's the definition of totaled. I mean, that's the definition of total. Okay. So
yes, so I spent $10,000, right, or so, like on my Cadillac. I don't remember exactly. Got a crazy good deal. Gets excellent gas mileage and rides great. The repair bill was like $12,000 for that car.
Now, have you gotten another wreck besides that one, or is that?
Well, so it took them a month to finally accept liability, the lady's insurance, because she gave false insurance information. So then I was like, no, you're not fixing my car. I'm not putting this on my insurance. We will find her, track her down, get her insurance info. They eventually did. It took them a month to start working on it, 2 months to finish it. But after they finally accepted liability to where they would pay for a rental, we got a rental from Enterprise on the insurance company's dime. Within a week of being in that rental, the police captain of Joco, Johnson County, backed into it and smashed the rental. So then I was in another car. That car had electronic issues from Enterprise. So then I had to get another car. Yeah, it's.
I'm telling you guys. So, this is just something I tell everybody, especially when I hire people. It's like, if you talk to an insurance agency, if you drive 100,000 miles, ABC 1, 2, 3 will happen. Mm-hmm. No matter, it's just statistics. Okay. If you think you're a safe driver, great. Then it'll happen to you every 150,000 miles, but it will happen. It is just a law of nature. And it's so funny how people call me pessimistic, and man, why do you distrust people so much? Just listen to Patrick experiencing a little bit of our lives here, right? He gets T-boned by someone running a red light. The same person who almost just killed somebody continues to lie and cheat by giving false insurance information. Then a cop runs into him. You would expect the cop to know how to drive. Nope. You can't count on anybody, man. You can't count on anybody. Guys, when you open your own business and you're running on things, everything is up to you, including other people's stupidity. It's just, you got to factor that in. So I'm telling you, man, like, I do not do as many things as I used to do when I was younger. Like, I don't go outside after 9 o'clock because if I recognize, I'm just more aware of my surroundings. When I go to a gas station at 9 o'clock, if I need to fill up, there's a different crew out there than there is at 3 afternoon.
Story I have to tell you on this. You said go to a gas station after dark, and this just happened to me recently. It was the most. I called my wife the moment afterwards, like after the situation cleared. I called my wife and I'm like, you would not believe what I just went through. So I just got done wrapping up the day, and my car's out of gas, and it's like 7 o'clock at night, right? So I'm like, okay, I got to stop and get gas. And then if I'm driving east on the 40, which I am, because I was coming from almost Mebane. I was like way out there near like
Whoa.
Mebane Haw River. Like,
Encroaching on my territory, Patrick.
yeah,
No.
I know. Like, I'm like, it's not Greensboro. It's 40 miles away from Jonathan. I know Jonathan's
That's fine.
address.
Open up shop. I don't care, man. But anyway,
I was heading back. I'm like, oh, traffic's gonna be bad. I'm gonna pull off a place where I never get off here, just because I didn't want to have to get off in the worst of the traffic. So I pulled off somewhere where I never pull off to get gas. Come to find out, it's like, it's not the ghetto, but it's not savory by any means. And it's after dark, and there's people standing on the corner, and there's like, this hood rat chick yelling at the air. I just,
yeah.
whatever. I go
Fentanyl,
outside, I pay
probably.
for everything. Gas is pumping. I come back outside, like I leave my car running because I'm in and out. Like,
All right, whatever happens,
I
you
deserve, because I
left the
should have
car
locked my
running,
car
bro.
and I should have shut it off. Yes. Ashley said the same thing. So I go in there. I'm literally only in there for like 60 seconds, maybe. Like, I'm just paying the cashier because the pump wouldn't take my card. I walk back outside, hang up the thing, close the gas, whatever. There is a person sitting in my car.
Bro, that's like old zombie type of stuff. What's that Resident Evil video game? Any OGs here? The original Resident Evil, like Resident Evil 2 in the game, they hop in a car in one of the first cutout scenes, and you think, oh man,
Zombies
this
in
is
the back
amazing.
seat. Yeah.
And the zombies in the back seat, bro.
I still
You got a
remember Resident Evil
fentanyl
2.
zombie.
Like, yeah.
You got a fentanyl zombie in your freaking car. Okay, so tell us what
So
happened
this
next.
guy, he was like, brother, I need a ride. He's like, they think I'm homeless. My son's about to get home and I need to be there, and I don't got a car and I can't walk because I'll get shot. Like, I need a ride, brother. And I'm just like, why are you in my car?
And meanwhile, you're like what, 6'2", 6'3"?
Yeah, I'm 6'2", 6'3", 220
Yeah,
pounds. Like, I'm not a small guy. Like, I'm a relatively big dude and I will protect myself. I
right.
have no problem.
You're not the kind of guy you're like, yeah, that's an easy target. I'm gonna get in his car.
Yeah.
No,
So he's in
okay.
there and I'm just like, what are you doing in my car? And he's like, I need a ride and I can't walk. There's gangbangers and they'll shoot me if I try walking back home. And next, I'm like, oh my goodness. And like, my good side, my Christian side, who's thinking like, okay, this is a person who's asking for help. They haven't demonstrated that they're violent or nefarious. Help them, right? Like that's
Dude,
my Christian side.
dude, are you dead? Like, am I talking to Patrick's ghost at this
Right.
point? Patrick the friendly ghost? Patrick the friendly ghost. That's who I'm talking to right now. Bro, I used to be like that myself. I used to give people rides back in Columbia, South Carolina, and I had some weirdo like showing me photos on his phone and stuff, and I'm like, never doing this again, and I never have. Bro, experience teaches you stuff. What happened? Like, you actually took this guy somewhere?
Yeah. So I was gonna tell him to get out of my car and be about my way, but I am a white guy in a not white area, right? And there's people standing right outside the gas station. There's people on the corner. Me, the only white guy, probably within 10 square miles. Am I going to drag this guy out of my car, like potentially hurt him to get him to comply so that I can drive away safely while other people are watching? No, what will happen is I'll probably get jumped and beat. So I give this guy a ride to his home and he's like, give me your phone. And he takes my phone out of my hand and I'm driving, right? Like, I have it in this hand and I'm looking at the GPS and I'm driving, and he rips it out and he's like, I'll just put in the address. The inside of me the whole time was like, I wish I had my gun on me because I know better. I've been in situations where like concealed carry would have prevented things from happening. But anyways, he puts in his address. I drive him home. While we're driving there, like, this is straight up a ghetto apartment complex. Like, probably
Hey
the worst
man,
I've
at least he
seen.
had a house.
Right.
At least you're not dead.
Right.
At least he didn't. The second you pull out, he direct you into some some vacant lot and then freaking hide your body behind a dumpster, man.
So like
No.
where I dropped it off when I was leaving, there was like these two chicks walking down the street and my window was down and they're like yelling, "Can you give us a ride?" And I was just like, it was the most anxiety filled single event that I've experienced in quite some time. Like
Okay,
it was
so let me just dude, you never do that. Obviously, you know, you're an adult, you have kids. You should know better. You should know better. You should know better. It has nothing to do with the hood or anything else like that. It's just, folks, I learned I have some strengths and weaknesses of my own. One of my greatest strengths is I am very in tune with my gut. I didn't always used to be that way. I was very naive. I had no idea, like, oh, that person didn't like me. Oh, I thought they were just being really nice. No, I was homeschooled till the 6th grade. Okay, I was I was naive and as socially checked out as anyone could possibly be. Then I had a few events in my life where I'm like, huh, I kind of had a feeling something wasn't right. Remember the feeling that you get. So, this story, when he was telling this, you probably had a feeling in your gut. Okay.
feel that feeling.
Remember what that feels like. And anytime you get that feeling again, nope, out of there. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, it will save your life. Anytime I get that feeling with a guest on my vacation rental, with a real estate agent who has booked me for something, yeah, the property's totally ready. The homeowner's just going to be there to help you move a few things. Okay. Same feeling, slightly less potent, okay, but the same feeling. You're like, I'm sensing some bullshit there. So in this situation, it's come on, bro. You're very lucky to get it out of there alive. No joke, no joke, bro.
No, I called
I
Ashley and she's like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" She's like, "You should have pulled him out and beat him." I'm like,
You
I
don't have to beat the guy, okay? So
well,
this is my
yeah, I
own
mean that
street
that was
smart
probably
advice.
more of a knee jerk statement than actually doing it, but
So here's the thing I have noticed. I've traveled around the world quite a bit. I've developed some street smarts myself. Street smarts, not street sharts. Although
food charts are terrible.
I do keep toilet paper just in case
Yep,
the
I learned that one this year as well.
the toilets are vacant and the water isn't on. But I have found that if you look weak, people take advantage of you.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So if someone is stupid enough to get in your car, you you get angry and you show strength, they snap in line real quick. I'm sorry. I was shooting a home in the ghetto a while back, and then I didn't lock the front door. Okay, and someone came on in. I'm pretty sure they were homeless, and they're like, "Oh yeah. I just thought I would check out the property here." And I'm like, "Excuse me, y- can I help you? Are you the real estate agent?" And they're like, "Yeah, I'm the real estate agent." I'm shooting for the real estate agent.
Mhm.
I know who the real estate agent is,
You're not the real estate agent.
so they're just lying. So I just freaking yelled at them. I cussed them out, and I told them, "I'm not going to call the police because I'm going to do it myself if you don't get out of here." And I picked up my tripod and everything else, and they got out. All right. I'm sorry if you just show firm and strength. Same thing with the vacation rental. If you are upfront with how strict you're going to be, everyone behaves themselves. But
Mhm.
if you're like, if they say one thing like, "Oh, do you mind if I bring a pet?" Then all the rules are broken.
Yep.
Okay, you can't give them an inch or they'll take a mile. Anyway, hope this has been fun. This has been more of a hangout, just like a reconnection for Real Estate Photography Unlocked. But we're having a lot of good stuff coming up this year. If you guys are wondering why I haven't been posting over the winters, because frankly, I don't want to force any episodes. I'm sure you guys will probably watch some podcasts, whether it be in the photography industry or other industries, and it's just like, this isn't a good episode. I don't like to post bad episodes, right? So we've got a really good lineup of people coming up. Like I said, David Deal's on next. We may have a top of the game video company based out of Charlotte coming on the podcast.
Mm.
I'm not going to say their name, but I'm hoping they're coming on because I feel like they're doing some of the best work in the industry right now. And I'm not talking about like education. They're really proven, tested, frontline, and they make all their money from doing the actual work, not from selling courses, right? So
I've been curious as to who it is, and I have not been
they,
able to find out. But
they start with a number. I'll tell you
okay,
after the podcast. The rest of you guys will have to stay tuned for the next episode, and don't forget the links in the description for mentorship course. We are going to be launching that soon, and then also the software, Real Estate Media Hero, for scheduling. But Patrick, I really enjoyed just hanging out with you.
Yeah.
That's what all it was.
absolutely.
And I'm really glad to hear that you're doing well, and clearly you are on a very healthy track of doing a real business, and you're learning some of the classics along the way.
Yeah.
But if it ain't a Sheets, don't pull in, man. I'm telling you.
My goal is to hire somebody this year. I think I'll be busy enough to actually have to hire a new shooter. Yeah,
I actually have
double at least 1.5 times to potentially double the amount of money I made last year and hire somebody else. That's the goal.
okay, that would be awesome, and I hope you achieve that, man, because you are in a large market and you can do that.
Yeah.
But it all depends, honestly, on how the market goes this year. So we'll see. All right. Thank you, man.
Thank you.